Hello, Utah fans and film fanatics. This is Elijah coming from day 2 of Utah International Film Festival. We're continuing our series on interviewing folks who have films here at the premiere, or rather at the festival. And so joining us right now is Melinda Yeaman.
Yeah.
Let me take that again. Joining us right now is Melinda Yeaman. Hi, Melinda.
Hi, nice to be here.
Yeah, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So, of course, we're here to talk about April is Missing, a really important story. Why don't you just start by telling us about the story?
Okay, great. Yeah, April is Missing is actually a story, it's a fictional story, but it's a story that is really woven together from true stories that were observed and experienced out in the world by people involved in the film. Our writer and director, editor, producer, all these things couldn't be here. His name is Yeaman Larson, and he's amazing. I really believe in him. I love working with him. But he wrote a script that we kind of took in a very experimental way, and the core team of 4 people together, we purposefully kind of put holes in it and changed it along the way to feel as real as possible, because the point of the film is to really get this story out there of what's really happening under our noses in our communities. And so it's not a graphic story, but it is a story about the trafficking that happens in our community, and in sometimes a very subtle way. And it's kind of an adventure story going along on an adventure of figuring out what is going on with a particular person. And it's all pieced together from real stories that have happened in our communities.
I think that is so important to actually, get for something that heavy and real, to, get the real stories from those who were impacted by it. So such an important topic, and so glad that you're shedding light on that. So we got to talk a little bit before. You mentioned that you were primarily a producer on the film, and then you kind of saw the storytelling evolve a bit throughout. And then also a small part in front of the film?
So I would say I was primarily an actor. And the way that we purposefully kind of said, hey, we want to make this film, and we want to do it somewhat experimentally with pretty much no budget. Sound familiar, anybody?
Yeah.
And so contributing my acting to this film was part of me producing it. And
Love that.
Other parts were just doing what's needed, just making it happen. And it was really amazing to see the people that came together, insanely talented people who get paid a lot of money to do what they do during the day, would come together on weekends and over a period of quite a few months to get this film put together. And it was a good learning experience for me.
Oh, yeah. And that's, I think, anyone involved on an indie, you start to see the real magic, that it takes, everyone wearing many hats in order to really put forth the best version of the story, especially one this important.
Yeah.
So awesome. So excited to see that. So can you tell us a little bit about some of the experiences while you were on set, and maybe either a challenge or something that a fun experience you'd like to highlight?
Okay. Well, let's see. So this film actually started as a single scene short, and it was, again, kind of an experiment that just kind of sprang out of Yeaman's head. And there was a girl named Liza Scholl, who happens to be the lead of this film, and she was on set. I didn't know her, but she played a role in that short, and it was really just like a monologue of my character who's involved in the story, and that just kind of, I think, woke something up in Yeaman to keep writing. And then he contacted me later and said, you know what, I really love what you guys did with this, and Liza's amazing, and I want to give her a platform to perform, and this has all kind of come together. And he just kind of wrote this thing, was inspired to write this. And so we ended up working together over a period of months with Eric Pasternak, who is like a genius filmmaker. He's amazing. And it was just really amazing because we kind of became, this is a story that most people will identify with. It's what happens behind the scenes. It's really magical, at least for me. The movie's amazing, and I learned a lot, but behind the scenes, we really got to know each other, and because it was somewhat experimental, we got to play around a little bit with, hey, how would we do that? Or let's reshoot this, or, you know, and kind of mold it, which was really, really magical. So overall, that was incredible. I don't know if I'll have that experience again. Something that happened on set, let's see. I want to tell a funny story, but this isn't really funny.
But whatever you feel comfortable, I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because this is a very serious film, and I will say behind the scenes, in order to cope with all of the emotion that comes with that, we laugh a lot. And so like on social media and stuff, you know, we're like, hey, but I don't want that to be confused with us taking it lightly. It's more just trying to deal with what we're doing, and we're, you know, making relationships, and so there's a whole other story going on behind the scenes. But I will just say, there's one story where, and actors will identify with this. So I'm in the front seat of a car, and it's a really, really emotional scene, and I divulge something about my life. And the sun is setting, and we have seriously like 15 minutes tops to get like the light and everything right. And it just so happens that and I have my phone with me, like kind of shoved under my leg. And while that's all happening, my phone's ringing, and something really, I can't even remember what it is, but there was something going on with my daughter, I think, that was like an emergency. And so I'm getting these texts, and I'm looking down, and I have to like film this like emotional scene, and the sun's going down, and we wanted to do like 2 more takes, and I was like, I gotta go. It's gotta be what it is, you know? And they were all like, okay, great, let's do it. You know, that's fine. We're gonna do with what we have. And I don't know that I felt like that was like, that I had it, you know? And so I was kind of on pins and needles, and I think that Yeaman, to his credit, is an amazing editor and did a great job with it. But I remember that cementing into my head as an actor, just saying like, you've got to live in the moment and do what you can with what you have, and then just let the rest go, you know? So.
But what you described, it sounds like a tense scene. So that scenario could almost lend to the tension in that. So that's cool.
That's what we hope, you know.
Right? So seeing that, I think, will be really cool. Be like, that might be the scene.
Yeah.
So very cool. So, of course, we're so happy to have you joining us at the Utah International Film Festival this year. What would you say is a main takeaway that you're hoping to take home with you, or, you know, to check off the night, say, yes, it was a good night?
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, for the film festival alone, I have been involved in film festivals, but very rarely have I been able to sit and really watch other people's work. You know, we all have jobs and we have things that are going on, and this happens to be within driving distance of where I typically am working. And so it's actually, this time around, I just told myself, like, you know, I just want to enjoy other people's art and work and kind of be inspired. And I like to watch people's choices. Being an actor first, I like to watch people's choices and think, you know, to myself, just kind of like marinate in it, because during the day I'm involved in business a lot. And that's kind of my escape, and it gets my brain going. So I'm really just here to enjoy other people's talents and see what there is out there, you know?
Absolutely. I love that. And that's such a pivotal part of a film festival that I don't think gets talked about enough. In that we get to enjoy being members of the audience and watching either stories of our peers or work of our peers, or even those that we just hadn't heard about before, and just getting to see the multitude of talent here locally as well.
I agree. And, you know, for an actor, to me, it's really important with the small time that we have to get a role, to play a role, and to see that unfold, to really look around and see who matches with what my goals are, and who would I like to reach out to and work with. So yeah, it's a good opportunity.
Right, network.
Yeah.
So awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
You.
Hopefully that wasn't too painful.
No, it was
Good,
great. I appreciate it. You do a great job. Yeah, you're the right guy for the job.
Oh, well, thanks so much. And yeah, we'll be checking in later.
Okay.
So everyone, please check out April is Missing. Again, very important story, obviously with some phenomenal cast and those involved behind the scenes as well. And until next time, Thanks for tuning in.